ladies and gentlemen, we are back in studio. It is episode 6 of season 2 of the Daily Intermission podcast. I'm extremely excited to introduce co-host of the show, Nathan Brown.
How are we doing, everybody? Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me on the show here. Little applause from the back audience.
From the live audience.
Getting a little fired up with the soundboard we have now. We actually just put on the headphones and there was just the most generic riff ever playing. And we were like, what is this?
Yeah, where's that coming from? But no, there's some preset, I guess, sound bites that you can press on the soundboard and it'll add it into the audio. So we'll be playing around with that in coming episodes. Nate, Nova Scotia gets absolutely hammered with our first nor'easter of the winter, and I think 45 centimeters is what we got. So we've been dealing with that for the last few days. Power outages. I lost my power. I know Nate didn't, fortunately.
We're
but
too good shareholder, so.
That's right. Yeah. No, I know. Just your personal power grid that you pay for.
Yes, that's exactly right.
No, I mean, it's funny in today's society. You know, we're so developed technologically.
There we have it.
There it is.
Pre-stroke.
Yeah. The pronunciation is a little lagging this morning. But no. So, you know, we're so technologically advanced that when power goes out and say your phone dies, I mean, you know, it's almost like you're like lost. But, you know, it's crazy to think how far we've come in the last 15, 20 years. I mean, you know, you'd light a few candles, play board games back in the day with your family. But nowadays it's like it's a scramble to get your phone charged. You're using all your data. Yeah. It is insane.
Well, as soon as the power goes out, it goes completely black. You're like, oh no. You start thinking, you're like, what's my phone at? It's always 37%.
Yep.
As soon as the power goes out.
Yep.
You're completely screwed. Yeah, it's crazy. You almost don't even want to talk to anybody when the power's out because you're like, this sucks. Like, I don't know. It is tough. And you're so reliant on your phone. It's crazy.
Well, especially being, you know, two content creators like ourselves. I mean, we're trying to monitor everything that's going on our social platforms. I mean, we're constantly monitoring the numbers we're putting up, and yeah, I mean, you know, not having your phone during a power outage is, I mean, I'm a lost puppy.
Yeah.
But
the worst is just not having like TV.
Oh, for sure.
You can't have anything on in the background or whatever. Like
light switches don't work.
Yeah.
It's a modern day. It's the issue is it's gotten worse as we kind of go into the future.
It does.
But no, shout out to the power crews and the people fixing lines. But I did want to talk about, Nate, is the people who are cleaning up the roads and getting everything organized with snow removal. And firstly, I wanted to know, how do you get into the trade of snow removal, and how would you train, and how would you get ready to rock? So say it's your first year as a snow removal guy, and you're waiting. I mean, we haven't had really much snow, and then all of a sudden you get a 45 centimeter dumping, and you're driving around the highways clearing snow. I mean, some of these guys are just plugs out there.
I think a lot of them work for the Department of Highways, and then it just kind of seasonally goes hand in hand.
Okay,
and they go there. But yeah, for training, it's a hell of a question. Yeah. I mean, you have to. I mean, I assume they take just about anybody. It's like, I got the truck, I got the scoop. Get me out there.
And think about the territory you've got to cover. I mean, you got a lot. There's got to be rookies on the team.
There is, yeah. I remember some guys were talking about that, a few people I know that truck, and they were saying some of the routes are ridiculous. Like, some people won't take some routes because they're just like, there's too much to it.
Yeah.
And you're expected to have it done at this certain point, and like, it's just, sometimes there's a lot to it, so they don't even bother with it. It's hard. And that's what happens when you get like far away out there. Like, it's no, like, obviously sometimes you know how like you have an area like way far out. It's like, man, they never get plowed. It's like, well, we got to, you got to get all the good stuff done first.
And there's nothing worse. You're fresh off a shovel, you're fresh off a snowblow, driveway's looking money, and then all of a sudden the plow comes flying by and you got another 6 feet of snow.
Buries you. It's like, thanks, boys. Can't even get out.
No, well, it's just kind of the nature of the beast. But no, I guess we'll thank everyone for clearing things up and getting everything rock and roll. But I was thinking about that, how people train and how people get into the snow clearing business, because I was driving down the highway in the middle of the storm. I mean, not a very wise decision.
Very safe play.
But there was a snowplow driver that I was he was driving the opposite way on the highway, and he's like, his plow wasn't even on the ground, and he was like scraping the sides. I was like, man, this guy is a rookie. Anyway,
Step 1, get in the truck. Step 2, make sure the plow is touching the road.
drop the plow and just rock and roll, man.
There's one thing I wanted to talk to you too about, and it's just a kind of a general question. So I was shaving the other night, my face.
Yep.
Obviously not the mustache, as we all know. That thing ain't going nowhere.
Yep.
I was wondering what do you use for razors? You're a big electric guy. Do you use the blade, like disposables?
I've got a few. I've got like a beard trimmer, and then I'm a Gillette guy. I just I've got the replaceable blades. I don't shave clean as often as once, because I'll tell you why. Because for a long time, for I would say a couple of years of my employment experience, it was mandatory that you came in clean shaving, and it's a process. Thing. Yeah, it's a process to get up, and I don't grow in like a full beard, so I wasn't able to grow in facial hair during my positions at the Fairmont Hotel. So yeah, I had to shave every morning, and I'm just, not that I'm lazy, it's just the fact that I just I would rather ride it out a few days before I clean things up. But yeah, like I'm a Gillette guy. I mean, yeah.
Okay, I was just checking because like I always
use disposable guy.
I use the disposables.
Okay.
Well, I mean they're like $9. You get like 5 razors.
You go with the grain or against the grain?
You mean like this?
Yeah.
I shave down.
Yeah, with the grain. Yeah, okay. I always find it a lunatic move when people go against the grain.
Yeah, man. It just seems like it's just razor bump city.
Yeah, for sure. Nate, a few things I want to touch on before we get into the Big Four sports.
Yeah.
The Toronto FC signed Lorenzo Insigne. Insigne, and apparently he's an absolute stick.
That's what we're hearing.
I mean, we don't follow
I never even heard of him.
Neither have I.
And I mean, he
gets signed $11 million a year in the MLS.
Really?
Yeah. So apparently he's an absolute stick. People were comparing the signing to things of the David Beckham, Wayne Rooney, esque signing. So apparently he's an unbelievable player. So we're excited for the Toronto FC. I mean, not that we are overly huge soccer fans over here at the Daily Intermission, but it definitely made headlines in Canada. And the Toronto FC is extremely excited about this guy coming over. Some super sad news to touch on. Before we get into the episode, a young kid, 16 years old, playing high school hockey by the name of Teddy Belkind, lost his life playing hockey, and man, our thoughts are with his family and his friends, and it's just such a tragic event that has transpired, and obviously, we are extremely saddened to hear that news, and we hope that everyone is dealing with it, as best as they possibly can.
Yeah, condolences to the family for sure. That would be so tough, man. And it's kind of crazy. Kind of puts into perspective just how like dangerous some sports are, especially hockey. Like there's so many moving parts.
Yep.
And I mean, it's kind of crazy. You don't see more skate injuries. Like you don't see a whole lot of incidents. These things. There's body checking with skates on.
For sure.
There's a lot. It's crazy.
It's funny, you'd think that there might be some innovation coming in the future to change the way how exposed the blade is.
Yeah, or even you think they would have something that's not really like a sharp skate blade anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like you could maybe that one's tough, but
I don't know. I don't know.
There's
I'm
got to
sure
be
people
something.
are looking into it for sure.
Yeah. Or just like a full Kevlar suit underneath, like what Erik Karlsson started doing. He started wearing those like Kevlar sleeves after he got his Achilles tendon slit.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's almost. I know it's not as comfortable, but it's like maybe the Kevlar neck pieces on your Under Armour. Maybe that's the way of the future. I mean, you see a lot of the Czech Republic players. I mean, obviously Thomas Plekanec comes to mind, but even in the World Junior teams, a lot of them have like the kind of the turtleneck look.
Well, it's just one of those things where it's like, it may not look the best, or it may not be like as popular or cool or whatever it is, but at the same time, it's like, okay, it comes to go with a visor. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going to wear a visor. It's dust. It's like, well, I mean, you look at Mark Stahl, he gets one puck in the eye, and now he's wearing a visor. He's like, I can't believe I didn't wear it.
For sure.
Like, man, it only takes one stick in the eye, and that's it. Like, it's crazy.
Oh, it is. It is for sure. Obviously a freak accident, and like Nate said, our thoughts, prayers, condolences go out to the family and friends and just community. I forget where it was. Do you know where it was?
Where it was? I'm not exactly sure.
No, I forget where it was. I think it's in Canada, but not certain. But we're gonna move into the NFL. The NFL is coming down to its last week. It's the first week 18 pre-playoff week we've had in the history of the NFL. Like we said last episode, only one real game that has implications on the playoffs. We get the Chargers versus the Raiders Sunday night, but there are some other games that that could play in, play out. But before we get into week 18 and kind of our season award winners, Antonio Brown came out this week. He was joined on the Full Send podcast. If you're not familiar with the Full Send podcast, it's Kyle from the Nelk Boys, Salim from the Nelk Boys, Bob Menery, big social media star as well.
Bob Menery from Bob Menery LLC.
Yeah, from the Bob Menery program, and you know, hats off to him. He's built quite an army, and you know, is a very big celebrity-esque you know, personality, and with a lot of the big sports stars around various leagues. So Antonio Brown obviously knows Bob Menery and their friends, and he came onto the Full Send podcast. A huge exposure for the Full Send podcast, if I must say. I mean, they're rolling out, getting headlines from Sports Illustrated. I mean, The Score, ESPN, you name it. But Antonio Brown speaks, and man, I really don't know what to think about this character. I mean, he's just, like he says on it, he's an alpha male, and I don't really know how that whole saga is going to go down with Bruce Arians and the organization, the management organization with the Buccaneers and Antonio Brown. But he came out, he said a lot of weird things, and he said he's going to be, you know, back playing football. But Nate, what were some of your takeaways from that interview?
Well, first off, he rolled in looking like a Power Ranger.
Yeah, those
facts. Sunglasses were outrageous. I don't know what those are. Completely reflective. I thought it was crazy too how I didn't see the entire interview, but they were twisting around a lot of the words like the media was doing. Like they ended up saying, like, you know, they pretty much tried to quote Antonio Brown as saying Tom Brady ain't shit. And it's like, well, that was just simply not said.
And we've been educated on that, how, you know, on different interviews, and, you know, if you're not careful with how you know, word some of your sentences and some of your phrases, that some things can get, you know, taken out of context and made headlines of, and which, I mean, there are tons of media outlets would do that.
Oh my God. Think of like the Daily Mail. They're ones that have gotten shut down so much for, I think they've just been straight up sued for making stuff up. Yeah. The clickbait is just ridiculous, you know, and the tactics used by some media platforms. But yeah, Antonio Brown came on, you know, he said that, you know, he's, you know, one of the best players in the Buccaneers, and the only reason Tom Brady's friends with him is he's because he's a good football player, and, you know, obviously the injuries, he was too injured to go play, and he got fired on the sideline. And, you know, if you want to go check it out, go check it out. It's on YouTube, it's on all the streaming platforms. But yeah, Antonio Brown, the saga continues with him, and I don't think that's going anywhere anytime soon. But I think the Buccaneers will be able to put that in the rear view and get ready for their playoff run. Yeah, I think Tom will be able to settle the boys down, and they'll be all right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If there's anything we don't want to put past Tom Brady, it's getting dialed in at this time of year.
Almost might fire him up more.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, for sure. Give him that extra juice.
Yep.
So Nate, you know, before we get into kind of our playoff predictions, our Super Bowl winners, we're going to talk about the award winners. It's been a long regular season. Most of the cases have been made for the MVP, for the Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year. So we're going to go through all the awards, the major awards through the NFL, and we'll talk about you know, who we think's going to win the award, and you know, a lot of them seem to be up for debate. There are a few that seem to be set in stone from the betting side of things. But Nate, we'll start things off with the Offensive Rookie of the Year. And I know we differ on this.
Yes, we do. Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'm going Jamar Chase.
Yeah, and it's hard to argue. I think he's had 13 touchdowns on the year. He's been an absolute monster rookie season.
I feel like, though, it feels like as little as like 4 weeks ago, it was like undoubtedly Mac Jones.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think Jamar Chase, you know, I haven't studied his game log close enough, but I know there was like a 3-4 week stretch where he wasn't performing. It was kind of a T. Higgins type of show for the Cincinnati Bengals, but I mean, obviously he's had such a tremendous season, and so yeah, Jamar Chase is a great pick, and I could, you know, most definitely see him winning. My pick though is Mac Jones, and there are a few different things, and it's a lot. You kind of go back to the MVP argument. You know, why is the MVP always a quarterback? Well, it's the most difficult position to play.
Yeah,
there's so many things, there's so many moving parts. You've got to study the playbook, and for a rookie to go into Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels offense, perform the way he's performed, you know, against the Buccaneers, you know, I look back and, you know, 19 consecutive passes completed. He's been so efficient with the football in terms of completion percentage. You know, he's just looked really good, and he's taken a fan base, a team that's just had such a tremendous run, and has flipped them from, you know, out of the playoff, you know, a perennial playoff contender who, with Cam Newton, missed the playoffs. Now they're back in the playoffs. Man, I think he's just done such a great job, and I think that Mac Jones, I think he will receive a lot of votes for that offensive.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's going to be pretty close.
Yeah.
Like the odds are saying, what is it, minus 250 for Jamar and then plus 250 for Mac?
Yeah, okay.
I think so.
Yeah, so
it's not clear cut.
No, for sure.
It's pretty close.
And we also have this week 18. You know, what happens if the Bills lose and the Patriots win? They win the AFC East.
And Jamar Chase has an absolute dumpster fire week.
Yeah, well, I don't think Joe Burrow's playing this week.
Right.
Yeah, so Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see for sure, Nate. So we'll move into the defensive rookie of the year. I think this one's pretty clear cut. I think this one is actually unanimous. I don't think there's anyone really pushing Micah Parsons from the Dallas Cowboys. What a tremendous year he's had, man. He has been super outstanding. I mean, just the sacks and he flies around the field. What a tremendous draft pick he was. I think 11th overall for the Dallas Cowboys. So I think he's going to lock that up, Nate.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it'd be tough. I'm not going to put any money on it just due to the straight odds here. It's minus 10,000.
Okay, well that's.
But I mean, so there's no use of it. But I mean, it's undoubted he's going to win it. So
yeah.
I mean, that one's pretty set in stone.
Definitely. So this is next. We move into the offensive player of the year, and I think we differ on this one as well. I think the two candidates that we're bringing to the table are obviously still in the MVP talks as well. But man, it's been a tremendous season. I'm gonna take a guy by the name of Jonathan Taylor, running back for the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, what a tremendous year he has had. I think they were like 7-0 when he had ran for over 100 yards. I mean, he single-handedly won them a few games this season. Jonathan Taylor, what a breakout year for that guy. Heisman finalist when he was at Wisconsin. But I really do think that he had a tremendous year, and his name will definitely be in the mix for the Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, for sure. I'm taking Cooper Kupp. I mean, I believe, what is he? As of recording right now, this could obviously change by tomorrow, but he's, 80 yards off the all-time record?
Yep.
So, I mean, if he gets that all-time record, I feel like he's going to, even with the extra game, I feel like he's going to win it. But yeah, they're literally, in the betting odds, they're dead even. Both minus 110.
Okay.
So it's a 2-horse jaunt
for sure
coming into the gate.
No, that's absolutely electric. And yeah, I mean, like you said, Nate, Cooper Kupp, I think he's like 13 receptions off the single season record as well, like 80, 89 yards. So I think Matthew Stafford will be hooking up with him. I like the Rams this week to beat the 49ers. But yeah, Cooper Kupp, what a tremendous year he's had, and has certainly broken out to be one of the best receivers in the NFL. Nate, defensive player of the year. I think we're pretty unanimous on this. He's got 21.5 sacks. He's playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. TJ Watt.
Yeah. I think that's the play. Minus 1,500. I wouldn't hate sprinkling the Micah Parsons, though.
Yeah, for sure.
To see him get the double up for the defensive rookie and defensive player of the year, that'd be badass.
I know Myles Garrett's had a pretty strong season as well for the Cleveland Browns. So
yeah, he's at plus 5,000. Myles Garrett.
Okay,
not terrible. You got Trayvon Diggs at plus 4,000. Aaron Donald plus 16.
Okay.
And Micah at plus 950.
Okay.
So it's pretty unanimously going to be TJ Watt.
Trayvon Diggs had a great year as well, cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys. 11 interceptions. So, I mean, yeah, I think we're both going to go TJ Watt. I think it's going to be unanimous. I mean, he's such a monster off the edge there for the Steelers, and really drives that offense or that defense for them. All right, Nate. Now we're going to move into Coach of the Year.
Yeah, give me Zachy Taylor.
Zach Taylor, for the Bengals, for sure.
Yeah,
winning the AFC North in a competitive division. He's done a great job getting Joe Burrow, up to speed in that offense in his second year, and obviously with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and even Joe Mixon's had a great year as well. So that offense has been great.
I'm not opposed either to Matt LaFleur for
Green Bay for sure. Yeah. He'll be in the mix for sure. Guy LaFleur.
Guy LaFleur's brother, Matt. Yeah, he's down there in Green Bay, absolutely coaching up a storm.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of starters out.
Yeah, definitely.
So I mean, you still have Aaron Rodgers, which is a nice help, but
Bakhtiari, they're perennial Pro Bowl offensive linemen, and I think their offensive line has dealt with a ton of injuries. So you're right, Nate.
I feel like it's tough. I feel like this one's a tough one too. I feel like it's close between those two, so we'll see what's happened. But who are you on? You're on Belichick, right?
I'm going with the bias pick, Bill Belichick. I've just been tremendously impressed by
plus 4,000.
Okay.
And I think that's way too generous.
Yeah, I mean, I love what he's done. I mean, he's kind of revamped his defense in the offseason. I mean, they spent a ton of money on players. We've been over it. But he's done a great job with Mac Jones as well. And I just really think that Bill Belichick has kind of showcased, what he can do, not only with a rookie quarterback, but with just a lot of new players into his system. And it's by committee in New England, and he's such a tremendous coach. And I think that he'll get some votes. Another guy not to sleep on is Mike Vrabel from Tennessee. I mean, they're going to be the number one seed in the AFC. They lost Derrick Henry for about half the year, who is the focal point of that offense. So yeah, I think that Mike Vrabel will get some votes as well for Coach of the Year.
I like that.
All right, Nate. Super Bowl predictions. Daily Intermission Super Bowl predictions. I'm going with the teams that I've picked all year. I'm not overly confident on my NFC pick, but I'm going with the Rams. I'm going with the Rams to win. I just think their defense hasn't really come into form yet. I think that they can get really deadly come playoff time, and obviously we know a strong defense come playoff time can bring you a long way. And Matty Stafford, I think he's got the weapons to have a good playoffs. And I like the Buffalo Bills, Nate. Really like the Buffalo Bills.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it on the TikTok lives a medley of times, but
Yes.
yeah, this is the DI standardized final. We're going Bills Rams.
Yep.
And I'm really hoping for the Bills.
For sure.
I want to see the Bills win. I want to see absolute warfare in Buffalo.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it would be electric.
I want to see every single table in that city busted. I want to see everyone drunk. I want to see all the videos that'll come from this. It'll be the most hilarious content you could ever imagine, and I'm going directly to Buffalo the second they win.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to fly in.
We have to fly into Buffalo.
Yeah,
if they win.
Got to be there for sure. Maybe go into Toronto, fly into Toronto, and then go down for a day or two.
Yeah,
and head back up. But no, it's going to be super exciting. The NFL playoffs are awesome. So we're about a week away from the 6 games of the first round. So we cannot wait for that. Nate, we're going to move into the NBA. And, obviously right now, the NHL and NBA, we're just kind of cruising through, heavy COVID.
Yeah.
It's
bad, man.
It is, man. Just kind of just generic regular season talk. But there are some big events that have happened. I mean, Julius Randle, firstly, we'll kind of talk about the New York sports market right now. And the New York sports market's obviously a very challenging market to play in. The fans are ruthless. Success is demanded. I mean, the fan bases are huge. You've got 8 professional teams in New York.
Yeah.
But the Knicks, I mean, after last year being a playoff team, I think they were the 4th or 5th seed last year in the Eastern Conference. They've just been a dumpster fire this year. Their star Julius Randle, after a 25-point comeback, the fans at the Garden are going electric, and he gives them the thumbs down. And if the thumbs down gesture doesn't mean much to you, if you forgotten what happened during the MLB season, the New York Mets players, I think it was Francisco Lindor and Javier Baez gave the thumbs down because the Mets fans were giving them a hard time, and obviously their owner was on Twitter giving them a hard time. But the thumbs down, gets fans in New York irritated. It was definitely making headlines.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and as you said, like the amount of teams there, and everyone's so hard in the paint, and I just always think back to Sean Avery.
Yep.
At just him screaming at his phone all the time.
Yeah.
Just like a classic. That just sniffs like classic New York fan. And, they have so much. They want to win so bad, and it's just like, I don't know. For some reason, it seems like most of the New York teams, it just like takes them a little bit to win. Like, when's the last? I'm trying to think of the last New York team that's won something.
It would be the Yankees.
It would be the Yankees in 2009.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Like that's a long haul for like a prominent sports market. Like,
who do you think, if there's going to be a team to win a championship out of the New York sports teams, who do you think it's going to be?
The closest one, I'm thinking Giants aren't that close.
No, Jets are far away.
Jets are far away.
The Knicks aren't close.
Yeah, the Knicks aren't close. I mean, the Nets
are close.
They're definitely, they're probably the closest.
The Rangers are getting there.
Yeah, the Rangers are getting there. I think Rangers and Nets would be your best bet if you're.
The Islanders, their window is obviously passed.
Yeah, they had a shot, but like it wasn't like a real shot.
Yeah, Yankees, Mets. I think the Yankees probably as well.
Well, the Yankees could pile on and come in, but I'd say the Nets would be the best chance.
Yeah, I think so. I'll go get Nets and Yankees.
Well, if they could get those guys just to merge together and just like play as a squad.
Yeah,
like. I mean, you got Harden, Durant, and Kyrie Irving, dude. Like,
yeah, it's a good point. I'm glad you brought them up, Nate, because I mean, the highlighted game of the week this week was the Milwaukee Bucks at home to the Brooklyn Nets, and they absolutely got pounded. Actually, no, it was Milwaukee in Brooklyn, and they got pounded by the Bucks. And it's just unfortunate right now, just due to the rules and the protocols in New York, that Kyrie Irving can't play. He made his return, obviously, but they need him. I mean, they need Kyrie Irving. I mean, as much as we kind of question his off-court antics at times, and the personality that he is. He's an incredible basketball player, and the Nets need him, and it's going to be interesting moving forward to see if those rules are changed in New York. And I mean, we touched on it last episode. What an odd situation it is just to be able to play on the road.
It's so brutal. I try to think of like if you would have told me this in like 2016, being like, so get this, Kyrie Irving can't play because he didn't get vaccinated for this random thing that's going to take over the planet. I'd be like, what? Like, what do you mean he can't play at home? What is the difference?
I know.
What's the difference between him playing at home and playing on the road?
I know. Well, like it's just the policymakers and the difference.
I know, but it's just so weird because it's like, okay, he lives in New York.
Yeah.
And now we're just going to let him roll across border. He's going to go wherever he wants, and now you can play.
I mean, yeah, we talked about it last episode. I mean, you look at Toronto, an hour and a half away from Buffalo. Yep. I mean, you got packed buildings, and then you got no fans. So it's so
strange.
Mixed. It's so inconsistent across North America with the policymakers and everything going on. Nate, just a side note, not sure if you followed the Novak Djokovic situation going on in Australia. Right now, he's an unvaccinated individual. He's a fairly outspoken anti-vaxxer.
Yeah.
And he is unable to play in the Australian Open right now. He's fighting it right now, and it's very odd. I mean, you've got Australia with very strict protocols when it comes to COVID, and Rafa Nadal was kind of chirping him. He's like, man, we've known for a long time that you'd have to be vaccinated. So why are you making the uproar?
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing is too, like, I know it's pretty early, and like I feel like a lot of the big thing is like everyone's like, well, we got to see what the side effects are. I mean, you don't see people dropping, like, and I mean, we've been vaccinated a year now almost.
Yeah.
So it's like, I understand you'd be a little hesitant at first. Like, I really don't think there's anything wrong with the thing. But yeah, I mean, he obviously knew. It's just weird. Like, why not start fighting it earlier than this?
Yeah, just the way I look at things, and this, and honestly, I don't know if this is just a microcosm of where I've grown up and what I believe in, but if the biggest health professionals across the world are telling me to do something, I'm going to do it. And I mean, obviously, I know that that's not uniform across society, but it certainly is. It's you got 70% of the NBA who's already taken their booster shots. I mean, health professionals are telling you that this will increase your chances of fighting COVID and surviving COVID. Anyway, we're not going to.
I was just going to say, I think there's a lot of doctors too that are out there as well that are like fairly high up in the rankings. Like, you see ones go on podcasts and stuff. I'm not going to mention which ones, but
the Joe Rogan guy you're referring to?
Well, him. There's tons, right? Like,
I've seen that guy. I don't know if I've seen anyone else, but he's a bit of a clown. Like, he's been fined and fired and.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, Twitter and everywhere won't let anybody keep that stuff on, right? Any like anti-vax stuff, they just delete it.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard, but it's impossible to get into. I mean, what are we going to start an anti-COVID? Like, we're going to go back and forth about COVID here? I'm not saying I'm anti-vax. I'm just.
Well, you're vaxxed, so you're not.
Well, exactly, right? Like, so that's what I mean. But I don't know. I just think everyone should be able to. I just don't think the mandate's fair. But anyway, let's get off this crap.
Klay Thompson's going to make his return finally. We touched on it a few episodes ago. Really excited to have the second Splash brother make his return to Golden State. I mean, they're having a great season. He's definitely going to provide a nice little boost there. I'm interested to see how he plays. I mean, it's been a really long time since we've seen Klay Thompson. Really hasn't been healthy since that playoff run against Toronto in 2019. So. Yeah. Obviously, we know what he brings to the table. He's an extremely electric shooter of the basketball, and I think that's just going to add such a boost. Steve Kerr has come out and said that he's going to start in his return. Mm-hmm. So that goes down today, Nate. Golden State Warriors get Klay Thompson back, so that's going to be super exciting.
Electric. Crazy it's been that long, hey?
Yeah.
Since the final, but we'll see what's going on.
I mean, he's come back for certain like little stints, but he hasn't found full health since
then.
Oh,
yeah. It hasn't been like it appears this time he's like back for good.
Yeah.
But we'll see what's going on with him.
Sure.
Definitely exciting. I mean, he's been on the absolute world return tour. I feel like every sports media plug on Instagram, anywhere, it's just like, Klay's doing this, Klay's walking to the rink. And by rink, I mean arena.
Yeah. No,
you're not playing a rink.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see. I mean, a lot of the Golden State media has been around Steph breaking the 3-point record. So I think Klay's gonna come in there. They're gonna give him some looks. They're gonna try to get him immersed very quickly, and he's a DFS lock for me today.
I mean, he'd be tough to fade.
Yeah.
He's probably going fairly cheap, no?
Yeah, I would think. I think he's gonna be limited minutes, which could be a little worrisome, like 15 to 20 minutes, but. We'll see.
He'll be all right, man. He gets hot early. They're like, bring him in.
Yeah, exactly. If he's feeling good, finding his stroke early. Yeah. Nate, I did want to touch on Dirk Nowitzki, and obviously Dirk hasn't played in the league for a number of years now, but he's going to get a statue in Dallas. So that's really exciting for Dallas Maverick fans. Obviously, he's just such an amazing talent. Was just the highlighted player in Dallas for a long time. Won them 2 championships, I do believe. And I wanted to say, Nate, if you look around the Big 4 leagues or anywhere in sports, who do you think deserves a statue, or who do you think in the next 10 years we'll see statues created of?
Well, I mean, first off, Tom Brady 1,000% is getting a statue in New England. There is no doubt about it.
I am getting a photo of me on my knees beside that statue.
I'm getting one on my knees in front of that statue.
Back to the camera, but moving on.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Brady's getting one in New England. Man, they might. It depends we'll see how this goes with Tampa Bay, too.
Does Michael Jordan have one in Chicago? You'd have to think.
He does, right?
I think. I mean, that would be ridiculous if he didn't.
Well, yeah.
Bobby Orr's got one in Boston. It's electric. Him flying through the air.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Michael Jordan has one because Michael Jordan has a statue in Chicago.
I would think
100%.
I would think.
Who else has?
I would think that Tiger Woods is going to get a statue.
Yeah, but where? Like just straight up out front of
Every
Augusta?
venue.
Okay, yeah.
Every golf course is mandated to have a statue of Tiger.
That would be the most. Imagine him just like showing up like first date, being like, them not knowing a whole lot about golf. It's like you show up to this random course and it's like,
who's that guy?
It's like, oh man, that looks like me, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention there's a statue of me at every course on the planet.
Eagle crest. It's got some like styrofoam like sculpture.
Oh yeah. Half beat off. Someone did it. Who else? I feel like Ovechkin's gonna get one in Washington.
Okay, yeah.
I
don't see why not. I mean, he's gonna end up having close to or the most goals in the history of the hockey.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets that, you throw out the statue. Another one that I think
Crosby in Pittsburgh.
I don't know.
Does Lemieux have one?
I don't know. I
think Crosby's done enough. I think Crosby's done enough
for a statue.
Statues are so electric.
I mean, you captain of 3 cups. Like you got more than Lemieux and Yager did. So
man, I think you got to go Sid.
Another one that I think is for sure is Mitch Marner in Toronto.
That's just such a joke. I mean, holy! Is there any statues in front of the AC? It's not the AC anymore. It's Scotia.
Yeah. There's one.
Is there? Doug Gilmour?
No, God, no.
Wendell?
No. It's Ty Domi. No. No.
Darcy Tucker.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I think there is one from way back in the day. Maybe Daryl Sittler.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll put it on an Instagram poll later on today. Who is deserving of a statue in professional sports? And for guys, especially like in tennis and golf and when you're traveling venues all the time, where do you put them? Like, where would you put a statue of Tiger Woods? Like Augusta? I just don't think Augusta's too strict.
Yeah, they're not going to throw up a statue of Tiger Woods.
No.
I don't know. Maybe somewhere I could see somewhere in Hawaii doing it.
Okay, for Tiger?
Yeah. Just because I feel like they're so low key.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Nate, we're gonna move on to the NHL.
Yeah.
And I wanted to start things off as frequent as we do. I need to formally apologize to all the Pittsburgh Penguins fans that listen to the podcast. Early on in the year, I said that this is the beginning of the end for the Pittsburgh Penguins. I didn't believe in their depth. I didn't believe in Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin being able to bring this team along. I definitely didn't have faith in their back end. But Chris Letang's having a tremendous season, and I didn't believe in Tristan Jarry, but he's been an incredible goaltender this season. And they won 10 games in a row. They're right in the mix. Should be a playoff team come June. And I didn't see it coming, Nate.
It's looking pretty good for them, isn't it?
Yeah, guys like Evan Rodriguez are having tremendous years.
I was just going to mention, who is the betting man that figured Evan Rodriguez was going to have 15 bingos by January?
This is the team that every single year, I didn't give them enough credit, but it's got these random guys who just end up being sticks.
No, always.
And it's like, where is this guy coming from? He shoots the puck 10 times a game.
I think back. I know, man, Rodriguez, I don't know how he finds his way to get that many shots. Like, are they paying too much attention to Crosby? Dude, this team hasn't even got Malkin back yet.
I know, man.
Have not got Malkin back. And if he can play pretty good. The thing is with Malkin, if he comes back and he's hot, such a benefit. But if he comes back and he's bad, it's going to hurt that team.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he's going to take away from somebody's spot like Rodriguez. Well, I mean, Rodriguez probably, you may as well stick him with Crosby for the rest of the year with Gensel.
100%. That line's been incredible.
Speaking of another random guy on that team that kind of just like goes off, Brian Rust.
Yes, always. And
Brian
playoff time. Playoff performer. Man, the Penguins have been good, man. And yeah, I wanted to apologize because, one of my colder takes, I think, Nate, you kind of agreed with that. You were kind of on board with the Penguins. And that's just kind of that's the nature of
I was full on board. And I would like to put out right now, they're going to fall off.
Okay.
They're going to fall off the wagon, man. They're just not that deep.
Okay.
I'm not
I saw they traded Sam Lafferty for Alex Nylander.
Which
is odd.
Wrap your head around that one.
I know.
How you get Alex Nylander for Sam Lafferty.
I know. Anyway.
But a good trade.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I really like the combo they got going there. I love Brian Burke. I really liked him when he was at Sportsnet.
If Nylander can wake up there, that guy has some serious talent. Like, this is a top 10 pick.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe he'll be playing on the wing with Malkin. Malkin, Rust, and Nylander.
Man, throw him with Crosby.
Okay. And then bump Gensel down with
Gensel?
Malkin.
No, put Gensel up there with him.
Okay.
Gensel, Crosby, Nylander.
And Rodriguez and Rust and
Malkin.
And Malkin. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows what they're going to do? I mean, they've been playing really well, and they've definitely surprised me. And I know one listener of ours, Pete, we do apologize for trashing your Pittsburgh Penguins.
Team sucks, Pete.
Matt Boldy. I wanted to talk about Matt Boldy, former 12th overall pick. The Minnesota Wild traveled into Boston this week. They had two guys making their debut, Matt Boldy and Marco Rossi. I think most of the listeners will know of Marco Rossi.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a top pick. And Matt Boldy was 12th overall pick. Debuted in Boston. I mean, went to Boston University, or I think Boston College. A lot of his friends and family in the crowd, and ends up absolutely nipping. Which, I mean, I don't know if there'd be any better way to start off by scoring in front of family and friends in your first NHL game. I mean, he went in the glass. He didn't even know what to do with himself. The entire bench is grabbing him, tapping him on the shoulder. But the Minnesota Wild, man, they when they were playing the Bruins that game, and they were playing tough playoff style hockey. Yeah. They got a lot of grit, and I think that's a team that we don't give enough love to, Nate.
No, we don't. I mean, we've always said they're kind of middle of the pack.
Yep.
I think of them in the West, and then Philly in the East is just those middle of the pack teams that are like good, but like not that good.
Yep.
That kind of fall off. I'm not sure Minnesota, like how far they can go, but I mean, yeah, that game against Boston, I believe the last bit of it. They were, I mean, they're laying the body.
Yeah, couple fights in that game.
You got Marcus Foligno buzzing around like a bull in a china shop.
I wanted to talk about Marcus Foligno right now, and obviously he's a much bigger character than his brother Nick. But Marcus, man, like, so Trent Frederick, who I peg him, he's a young kid in the NHL.
Did he have 2 fights that game?
Yeah, so
I thought so.
Well, so he hit Kaprizov, sent him out of the game, unfortunately, but it wasn't a malicious hit, but automatically dropped his gloves, and I don't know who dropped the gloves. I forget who came into the defense of Kaprizov, but the guy got the wheels beat off of him. He wasn't a tough guy. I mean, he found out pretty quickly that Trent Frederick could throw, but then Frederick went up against Marcus Foligno, and man, Foligno's a big guy. Like it looked like Frederick had the upper hand, and then all of a sudden Foligno turned it on and kind of gave him a good beating.
Well, those Folignos, man, they're just wired. You know what I mean? Like they're just absolutely like, let's go.
Yeah, Foligno looks like a fire hydrant. Like he's like 6'4", looks like 6'3", like 240. Like that guy, he'd be a tough guy to go.
Yeah.
But kind of the under the radar tough guy. Nate, I wanted to move into the Tampa Bay Lightning because obviously they've been playing, really well, and no surprise. I mean, the Bruins beat the wheels off them last night, but that again, no surprise. But Nikita Kucherov comes in from extended absence, and similar to last year in the playoffs, doesn't miss a beat. And I heard Mike Johnson talking about it, NHL analyst. For TSN, and he said, like, most people, like, I think back to my career, and even the O-Dog, who as well is a TSN hockey analyst. I mean, once you take extended period of times, I mean, we can talk to our experience, taking extended periods in hockey. It takes a little time to get accustomed to skating and handling the puck, and it's like a new sport sometimes when you take a big break from hockey.
Oh, for sure. Especially when you go back in the game. It's like you can screw around and practice all you want, then when you come into the NHL, and dude, it was the same thing last year when he came back for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, the dude had like 25 points last year in the playoffs.
He just comes
maybe
back,
more,
and he's an absolute buzzbag, and it makes you think: is this guy actually injured? Is he just like skating under the radar?
Yeah, like where's he at? Where's he training? Because you don't hear anything about the training when he's out. He just comes back, he throws 2 apples on the board, and then just continues to play. And it's like you wonder how long before he's out again.
No, for sure. Yeah, I know exactly. I mean, you'd have to think that if they're in a good position, I mean, they might just long-term IR him and then bring him back to the playoffs.
Why not?
$10 million over the
Which
cap.
Which is a damn shame because, like, I've got that guy in fantasy who's my first pick.
Yeah.
In a different league, and it's like, holy smokes, man, I can't. What am I to do?
No, for sure.
I mean, you can't not take him at like 5 or 6.
No, you have to.
Right? Just in case he plays.
Yeah, if he plays the entire season, he's right in the mix with McDavid and Draisaitl.
Oh, dude, remember that year he had like 130 points?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Anyway.
I also wanted to touch on quickly before we get out of hockey. Zach the Snack Fucali.
Yeah, let's talk about your guy, Zach the Snack.
Zach the Snack.
Obviously a first-round pick, right, for Montreal?
I believe second. I think he went...
Second-round pick?
Like early
Highly
second
touted goaltender.
Oh, big time. I mean, he played for the Mooseheads, won the Mem Cup with McKinnon and the boys.
That's maybe the best team of all time.
Probably.
Yep.
The team was absolutely lights. This guy comes in. He's 26 now.
Yep.
He gets his first NHL start. This was like probably a month ago or so. He gets a shutout.
Yep.
He comes in last night. He plays kind of in emergency fashion. Vanacek was... I believe he might have COVID. I can't keep track. It might be an illness. I know Backstrom's out with a non-COVID related illness.
Okay.
So
it's odd these days to hear.
You're damn straight.
He's just sick.
It would appear everything is COVID these days. Yeah. But anyway, he comes in and he ends up setting the longest shutout streak to start your career.
Okay.
Which is that the right stat or is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's right.
I mean, that's because he had the full shutout in his debut.
And then he got to about 5 minutes left in the second game before getting scored on. I believe Carl Hagelin jammed it in the net.
Yeah. It was an own goal, too, which is just
Carl.
unfortunate. But, I mean, are you a little surprised at the length of that? Like, I would have thought that it would be a little bit longer. There's got to be two guys who started off their goaltending career with 2 straight shutouts, but I guess that's not the case.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough, man. I mean, you go in, you're nervous as hell, right? Like,
yeah.
It's, yeah. I guess, yeah, if I would have guessed that, I probably would have said 2 games. It would have been, if I would have had to guess the record, I would have said 2 games.
For sure.
So, but anyway, we'll take it.
Just before we move into the PGA Tour, Nate, Nick Ritchie this week, obviously some devastating news for that guy personally, getting waived off from the Toronto Maple Leafs and then not getting claimed by any team.
Oh, man. That has got to be the biggest ego buster of all time, 100%. Eh? You could be like a big dog. You know what I mean? You get waived.
Oh, man.
Like, even
he's a former first-round pick.
And we'll think of Matt Murray, too.
Yes,
same thing happened to him, right?
Yep.
And it's like you can say whatever it is with the salary and stuff, but if somebody wants you, they'll make it work.
Oh, exactly.
They'll make it work.
But I mean, they need him to play a lot better, especially with their cap situation, paying him $2.5 million. I mean, per season. I mean, with another year. So yeah, they need Nick Ritchie to really be able to perform. I mean, the Bruins made the best out of Nick. I mean, he can play, and there's a certain brand of hockey. I mean, he's a slow skater.
Yeah,
but he's
slow
good.
Skater.
Yeah, he's good in front of the net. He can be physical, and you need to fight. Like that's just what he brings to the game. So. We'll see if that he can, find his brand of hockey and bring it to the Toronto Maple Leafs. But that was definitely a shot to the gonads. Getting waived.
I was kind of surprised he didn't get claimed. Honestly,
yeah.
I thought Edmonton would take a flyer on him.
Yep.
I thought there was a few teams that could use that. I mean, his salary. What's his salary?
2.5.
2.5.
Yeah.
That is a little high. You could
especially right now with everyone against the cap. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, you could go get someone who's just as effective for $700K. So,
no, exactly.
I mean, think about Spezza. Spezza's making $700K, and you got Nick Ritchie making 2.5.
It's tough. It's tough, man. It's tough.
That's an absolute shot.
All right, Nate. Well, we're gonna move into the PGA.
Yeah.
Century Tournament of Champions in Hawaii. I've been watching it. It's such a beautiful golf course, and it's been exciting. I mean, these guys. It's like a reward. You win a tournament the year prior. You get to go start off your new season. At this beautiful course in Hawaii. It's a birdie fest. I mean...
oh, my God. Birdie fest.
What are they...
Dude, Cam Smith is like 19,000 under. How's that for a number, folks?
Him and Rahm are tied right now. But, I mean...
Oh, did Rahm catch him?
Yeah.
Man, Rahm, dude... Dude,
he's the best player in the world right now.
Dude, I think we're gonna see some absolute ridiculous stuff from Rahm this season.
Man,
ridiculous.
Dude, that guy is such a good player, and you can never count him out. I mean, I'm a little rattled that I didn't put a little cash on him. I think he was
Richard didn't pick him, did he?
No.
Okay, so nobody touched him.
No,
right,
but
how's Sungjae? He fallen off? I haven't looked at
he's in the mix. I think he's like tied for 6th right now.
Okay,
but they're like 14 shots back. Like these two guys are going toe to toe at 26 under.
Yeah, well, that's also the most classic spot of all time for Sungjae to be. You know what I mean? He's right in that 6, floating. He's not getting it.
Are they 26?
Guys. They are 26 under
through 3 rounds. Like that is outrageous.
Oh man. Yeah, Rahm 26. Man, Rahm 12 under yesterday.
Yeah.
12. I mean, by the time this is...
Dude, I was watching his
We're saying 26 right now. Someone's going to be listening to this tomorrow morning and be like, well, they finished 39.
Yeah. I know, exactly. So we'll see. I don't know if anybody... it's kind of going to be head-to-head. I mean, I don't know if anybody can catch them.
It's going to be tough, for sure. I mean, Sungjae had a crazy day, too. I mean, he's 8 under yesterday, and he's 20 under right now.
Yeah.
And he's
6
strokes back at 20 under.
Yeah, it's going to take another 60. It's a par 73, which is odd.
Yeah, that is really weird.
Yeah, but it's been such a tremendous tournament. I love that tournament. Next week, obviously, too, I wanted to note that our fantasy pool starts the one and done at the Sony Open. So make sure, if you haven't reached out about the PGA Tour one and done pool, make sure you message us on Instagram. Give us a text if you have our numbers, ladies, and
ladies only.
And make sure that you're getting in the pool. It's free to enter. We're gonna do a full merch giveaway for the winner, and who knows, come that time we might do a meetup around the country, maybe a golf round. We don't know what the prize is gonna be, but it's certainly gonna be a full merch pack, and it's free to enter. It's a great way to keep up to date with the PGA Tour. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, it's gonna be so fun, man. I said the same thing last episode, but I'm so fired up for it. And how many people we got in there now?
I think there's just over 30, 33 entries right now.
That's a great number.
Yeah, for sure. So
wouldn't hate getting it to 50, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I think 50 is going to be the sweet spot. So the one and done pool is up and running, and it'll start next Thursday. So make sure you're reaching out. It's free to enter. Nate.
Yeah.
We're moving into maybe one of our beloved segments, the Would You Rather segment, and we kind of been off and on. We haven't been on our game as much lately.
For the Would You Rather?
Yeah, but I brought the heat this week.
I got some heat for you too.
Okay.
I got some real stuff you could get charged for with the wrong answer here.
Okay.
So, let's get into it.
All right, Nate, I'm going to start things off here, okay?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, Nate. So it just kind of been circulating in the news this week was a woman off a TV show called The 90 Day Fiancé. She had been selling her farts. She'd be videoing herself farting into jars and selling the jars. She was making like $100K a week off selling jars of farts. So my would you rather is, would you rather receive a daily shipment of these farts and take a whiff of them every single day for 90 days, or wear Joey Chestnut's used boxers for one straight year?
I'm lost for words.
Yes.
Did you say wear them?
Yes. You're wearing Joey Chestnut's dirty boxers for a straight year.
Oh, I gotta wear the same pair for a year?
Well, you're rotating them in.
Oh, I'll probably go with the boxers.
Oh, God.
How many days? Sorry for the
90
farts?
straight days of taking a whiff.
I'd throw up every day, but I'll take the farts. I can't do a year of dirty, grimy underwear, but I can't do farts either. Man, Greg was telling me this about the other day, and I was puking in the vehicle. Like, I was literally so close to throwing up. I can't think.
It's a fascinating thing.
Well, there's something about the clear jar
Yeah.
with a fart in it. Makes me feel so disgusted.
Yeah, that might be actually a nice addition to the backdrop here, is a jar.
We could just tell somebody it's like, yeah, that's
live.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say that, but I was like, I probably don't want that on the record nor record it.
Moving on.
Okay, Greg, your first one. Go down a massive water slide naked and land amongst children. Or fall down a set of steps and snap both Achilles tendons. So you're looking at 9 months recovery plus, or you land amongst children naked and everyone's like, what is this grown man doing with my child naked?
I'm going with the Achilles.
Oh,
I'm going with the Achilles. I mean, you can't.
You can, man.
You can't go into the pool.
I've done it. No, I'm just kidding.
You can't do it.
No, you can't. But you could fly in there and then
just cup it
cup there, get there. Be like, sorry, dude, I lost them on the slide. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That's all you
I'm
can
switching my answer.
Be like, well, what are you gonna do?
I lost my trunks. Yeah.
Can you imagine doing the Achilles thing, snapping your Achilles, and then being like, well, what was the other option? Well, I had to go down the water slide. It's like, why didn't you just say you lost your shorts? You'd be sitting there with like both legs, be like, Jesus. For sure.
All right, Nate. You're working for a prominent company, Fortune 500 company, and you're on a Zoom meeting, company-wide Zoom meeting, and you don't think the Zoom meeting starts for another half an hour, and you're pleasuring yourself, and the entire company sees you pleasuring yourself on a Zoom call, or you walk into a family member being the focal point of a gangbang, and you've got to watch for 5 minutes. Would you rather be caught on Zoom or walk into a gangbang with a family member?
I would do the caught on Zoom.
Okay.
Because one, I'm not watching the family member in the gangbang.
Yeah.
Like, I think we can get that out of the way pretty early.
Yeah.
Two, I'm pretty good at dealing with embarrassment.
Okay.
There's also no shot I would ever sit down in a chair and masturbate.
Yeah.
Like, that is why would I put myself through such discomfort. But other than that, I mean, like,
it's tough scene for sure. I think you're probably gonna have to leave the company.
I don't know. I think I could. It would be an ongoing joke. I mean, if someone's teasing me, like, I don't know. It doesn't really bug me that much, so it's like, it could be kind of funny. It's like, hey, there's Master Beto. It's like, how we doing, boys? Like,
What'd you think of that thing?
You got that thing screenshotted or whatever? Did not catch the screen. Like, you know what I mean? But I'd probably go with that. It would be tough. I may have to leave the company. It depends on how bad the abuse was.
Yes.
All right, Greg. Go without shampoo for the rest of your life, or go without toothpaste for the rest of your life. You dirtbag.
Go without shampoo.
What a dirtbag play,
dude! I barely have hair.
Damn it.
So
did you?
What?
I just wanted to touch on something too. As long as you're good with talking about this, but the guy in the TikTok that we banned last night.
Yeah.
Did you see? Did you see his inbox?
No.
Dude, because remember he started. So long story short, this guy is coming in. Greg didn't wear a hat on one of the TikToks.
Yeah.
There's this kid just kept saying over and over again, like, bald or whatever.
Yeah.
And anyway, we're like, okay, kid, like, we're muting you. Or getting rid of you or whatever. And anyway, he came in to the Instagram and was like, you got to unblock me. He's like, you're not bald. He's like, you have lots of hair. That's what he said. It's like, well, the damage is done, guy.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Nate. Would you rather shirt during a job interview?
Yep.
Or shart during sexual intercourse every time you did the two of them?
I'll go with the job interview.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, like sharts into underwear, right?
Oh yeah, but
Not wearing underwear while I'm
the
having
noise
sex.
of it and the stench. It's not
The
a good.
stench is bad. It's some of the worst stench, man. I'll go with a job interview. Be like, I'm sorry. It happens every time I have a job interview.
Yeah, it's tough seeing. I mean, yeah, I don't really know if there's a correct answer with that.
Yeah. Well, I can't, like, dude, sex though? Like, tough time. I mean, you're also, probably not going to have a whole lot of sex if you can't find work.
Yeah.
Okay, would you rather be the ugliest person on the planet or smell the worst on the planet?
I'll go with the ugliest. Yeah, I'll go with the ugliest. You know, I mean, I'd have to think that you'd get some respect from some people, and obviously they'd get around the fact that you just were just
The
a
ugliest?
creature. And I mean, yeah, you're almost unapproachable if you're the stinkiest human being on the planet.
For sure, but
you
I
can't
think
even be in the same room.
For sure, but I just think of like the ugliest person. I'm thinking like just John Merrick.
I don't know who that is.
Like,
I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you know, we're not the most
what?
visually gifted human beings on the planet, but I mean, there's some ugly people out there, and yeah, I mean, you know, I guess you just have to wear that. I mean, dude, a stench is the most unattracting. Oh my gosh, we might have to pull that up, but I mean, I don't know, man. I just, you know, bad, you know, BO and stench is.
I'd rather be ugly than stinky. I think.
Yeah.
Hell, I think I might be both as it is.
Both what?
Both ugly and stinky.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I mean, greasy
And
bastard.
if I only got an absolute coward. I mean, if I got to pick one, then probably go with ugly rather than stinky.
Yeah, I think you got to.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, we appreciate you guys tuning in as always. That'll wrap up episode 6 of season 2. Yes, thank you. We do appreciate you guys tuning in.
Thank you very much.
Listening, and yeah, go follow us on all of our social platforms. Our YouTube channel is going to take a nice boost this week. You know, we'll be live on TikTok as always throughout the week, and listen, can't thank you guys enough. We'll catch you guys on Friday.
Let's go.